this is Surya Saha, and welcome to the Insurtech Story podcast, the platform to spread knowledge on insurance innovation, digital disruptions, and entrepreneurship. Our website, insurtechstory.com, and we are available on Spotify, Apple, and Google. Today, we are going to discuss on a very interesting topic, embedded insurance and the future of Insurtech. And for that, we welcome our guest, Arijit Chakravorty, who is the Managing Director, Asia Pacific at CoverGenius. Prior to CoverGenius, Arijit held senior leadership roles with leading global insurance companies like Manulife, Zurich, and Tokio Marine. But let's listen from the horse's mouth. Arijit, can you brief us more on your background, your experiences, and how you moved into the insurtech space? It'll be very interesting for our audiences to know.
Okay, thank you, Surya, for that, and thank you, Surya, for inviting me for your show. Delighted to be here. Going back to my background, accidentally insurance happened. I didn't know anything of insurance at that point of time. But I went in as a general counsel heading legal and compliance. Eventually switched to business, was a part of senior management with brands like Zurich and Manulife. And then it kind of occurred to me 7 years back that whole world is innovating, but insurance companies are not. And at that time, came to know of blockchain and everything. Got exposed to those things for the first time. So I left my very comfortable corporate job to start my own legal and management consulting firm for startups and SMEs. And at that point of time, I saw that given my profile, other founders wanted me to build their companies. And that's where I started getting associated with projects where I was in charge of building fintech and insurtech companies. So doing those advisory work, I got an opportunity to build one more insurtech in Southeast Asia. And that's how CoverGenius came to know of me. That time I got the responsibility and the challenge of bringing the brand into Asia. So I joined as the first person in Asia, then scaled up the whole team's partnerships to what you see as of today. And quite happy and proud with what we have built. And in the midst of, as you know, in a very challenging pandemic 2 years, we have grown significantly in terms of our headcount, partnerships, our value prop in the region. And it is now considered to be one of the fastest growing region or the growth phase for us. And Southeast Asia, we have managed to build our name in Asia compared to sort of other insurtechs which are operating here.
So moving on, Arijit, to our topic of the day, it's embedded insurance and how it's going to change insurtech for the future. So, if you look at the industry, which is expected to grow at more than 30% annually in 2022. But although it's the growth, perhaps it's forecasted to be a steady one, but it's going to move as compared to the FIR 2021 to 2020. So, and especially the APAC is going to be a massive opportunity for embedded insurers. So, just considering all this, the most important part is to build your customer acquisition and retention strategies. How do you see embedded insurance shaping this in the days ahead?
Sure. To answer this question, Surya, I mean, it will be good for the audience to also give a flavor of when we talk about insurtech, there are various different sorts of insurtechs, right? And how embedded insurance is the future of distribution. And I'll cover a bit of what we do as CoverGenius as a business, which will give, the better flavor in that. Are you okay with that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, when people use insurtech, sometimes it used a bit loosely. There are companies which are marketplaces. They are also insurtech. There are companies which are providing a particular part of the value chain. They are also described as insurtech. For example, they can be a company which is only focusing on policy issuance or focusing on a claims automation. And then there are insurtechs who become a more digital broker. They are also termed as insurance, but I think what we do as an embedded insurance global player is what we are disrupting the distribution angle of insurance. Because predominantly what CoverGenius is Insurtech for embedded insurance because our global distribution platform Xcover enables world's largest digital companies to embed and offer any line of insurance and warranty products directly to its global customers with a single API call. And you will see, if you see, we have an impressive clientele whom we work on a global basis, and they start from whether it is Booking Holdings, Agoda, Skyscanner, Ryanair on the eTravelI on the OTA side, or we work with all the leading retail players or e-commerces, whether it's Amazon, Flipkart in India, Shopee in Southeast Asia, eBay. So all these leading e-commerces also we work with them. Then we work with various different logistics partners like ShipRush, ShipStation, and a lot of fintech partners like Zip and all that. Wherever you have a consumer journey, we are embedding a protection in the same consumer journey for someone as a checkbox to buy a protection against a primary product or service rather than going to a third party traditional website and buying a product. So the second step is not necessary. Whenever you are in your primary website or your favorite app, whether it's your Ola you are using in India or whether you are using Shopee in Southeast Asia or Amazon in Europe, you are buying a primary product or service, you will find us protecting in one checkbox, protecting your particular primary purchase as a tailor-made product for you, which you can buy in the same consumer journey. So that is where the advancement or innovation has gone into. I think gone in the days when I was also in a traditional insurance company. You will see a laundry list of all insurance products available in a tab, and then people go and choose, and it's a broken journey. And sometimes, most of the times, it's an intermediary which sells you products which is more motivated about their own commission rather than the product which is actually suitable for the consumers.
Right. So, you mentioned about some of the e-commerce platforms like Flipkart. So you help consumers, rather connect consumers to your product through another merchandise that's being sold on such platforms. So just to benefit of our consumers, can you just make them a bit more aware on how this happens and what is expected of this offering?
Okay, so for Flipkart, take an example of Flipkart, which we came up with a very unique proposition. It's called a furniture protection. So if you're buying any furniture in Flipkart, you will actually find us under the X cover to sell you a protection against that furniture. And what we are protecting is every furniture will come to the manufacturer's warranty. What we cover is accidental damage, liquid damage, fire damage on those furnitures. Now, when you are buying it, you will see the category. You will see our X cover product along with that buying journey. You just check the box, you go to the cart, you make the payment. The entire thing of issuance of policy, everything is instant for us. So you will get a real-time policy with you, which will also tell you that if you want to open an account with us, you can see all the policies over there. You can start your claims journey from there. So everything is automated. So end to end, the whole insurance value chain sits on our Xcover platform, and everything is automated. When you want to do a claim, it's again a completely digital journey. You can sort of initiate the claims to that particular app or particular portal. We have unique features. For example, for the furniture protection, you can book an online consultation where we have furniture experts in-house who will then look for what is the damage you are talking about in the furnitures. So again, this happens without meeting up the person, like meeting in person. It happens virtually. We will do the inspection virtually, and then we will make the necessary payouts in the wallet or credit card of your preference. Also, we pay. I'm talking about an India-centric example, but under our X claims and X payment, we actually can process payments on a real-time basis in 90 different currencies worldwide. And that's the reason our NPS, which is a Net Promoter Score, is actually more than positive 65, which is one of the highest globally. Because if you know insurance companies, And I can recall in my corporate days in insurer, our management target was to change the NPS from -15 to -5. So from there to come up with a positive 65 NPS, because we are obsessed with consumer journeys and how to make the product more suitable for customers, for them to experience and buy and claim. Because one thing, Surya, you'll appreciate that insurance is actually a promise. It is not
Correct.
a tangible product. You can.
True.
It's not an iPhone which you can take in a hand and feel and experience it. Your experience actually comes at the time of claims,
Yep.
which unfortunately insurers in most cases find ways of not to pay out, and we find ways to create products which the person, actually the consumers, can experience,
Hmm.
can go for a claim, and we ensure that their whole claims and payment journey is seamless.
True. True. As we say this, it's the moment of truth. So it's the premium that customers are paying for a future risk. Is the promise that the insurer is giving to the customer. So I think this particular concept and how embedded insurance is actually trying to fulfill various other aspects of this promise, it's going to be a great differentiator in the industry. And just to follow up on this particular discussion, embedded insurance, primarily it aims to bring coverage right before a customer even know about the risk. And that's how it significantly also for the insurer's perspective, it reduces a significant amount of the acquisition cost, as in customer acquisition cost. So essentially, when the industry is actually moving from a selling insurance to a buying insurance concept, with so much of technical noise around going on, do you see any roadblocks that may come in the process to achieve this, at least in the near term?
From the regulatory standpoint,
Anything that you may find to be a roadblock in this journey, be it
yeah, that's
regulatory,
where.
technical, operational.
Sure, sure, definitely. It depends on how you are defining a particular product construct. So one thing
Right.
about CoverGenius is what we have achieved globally is we are actually licensed in 60 plus countries and in all 50 states, where we can officially distribute insurance and warranty products,
Right.
right? So we have taken care of the compliance. The whole compliance actually sits with us. Okay. And it's a big feat to come up with that sort of an infrastructure. I'll give another example of that. I mean, take our booking holdings or any of those regional OTAs as our as an example. Okay, so whether you're originating from India, Singapore, Brazil, Mexico, China, it doesn't matter. It's more about your when you are at that OTA platform, like booking holdings, your buying journey and your claims journey remains consistent across the globe. It's kind of I like to give an analogy of buying a McDonald product. Like wherever you go, you look and feel the same, right?
Correct.
So you are experiencing a product which is across the globe consistent, but our tech is intelligent enough to know, because as you know that insurance is territorial, that you are originating from India, then an Indian insurer issues the policy through our Xcover system. If I'm originating from Singapore, a Singapore insurer will issue the policy. So that is
Right.
how we have created the whole global infrastructure on an embedded basis, that wherever you're originating, we are providing insurance through that particular insurer, which is licensed in that particular market. So we have created that. So going to your
Right.
point, if someone is starting off and doing this whole infrastructure, it's a big thing to achieve in order to come up with an infrastructure of working with large OTA players and airlines globally, to come up with that particular compliance driven framework, which we also take, we own it. And that's the reason of our success, because if, like, for example, Skyscanner, I
Hmm.
can tell you from our initial conversation to launch in entire Asian market, it took us only 6 weeks. And
Okay.
we could do that because we own the regulations and regulatory framework around it, and we know how to execute it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, excellent case studies, excellent innovations that's happening. But what's more important? It's how our young consumer segment is actually aware of this happenings. How the industry is innovating, what products are coming up, what each innovators like Cover Genius, the brains behind it, the efforts that you guys are putting in. So that's an important aspect I think the entire insurance industry must focus on and must come out of this traditional way of functioning, especially the incumbents. uh,
Yeah.
Arijit, you did mention about, or rather, we discussed on the claims part a bit briefly some time back. But just to touch upon it a bit more, embedded claims, it falls under, or rather underneath the insurance embedded insurance model. So, but how do you think embedded claims, can be, or rather is essential for the success of the entire model of embedded insurance?
It's one of the most important aspect, Surya, because if you are not making, and I give an example. Recently, my mother came down to Singapore from India, and there was a travel incident, and this is one of the leading insurance company in India. I'm not naming it,
Right.
and she had a baggage like a baggage got damaged, and I tried to claim it, and I saw that the claim is actually an email with all attachments we need to send out, and that's not a good experience,
Right.
right? It needs to be something. The buying journey was digital, and
True.
that company is regarded as one of the digital companies, insurers in India, but the
Right.
claim is broken because again it might come from the mindset that let's sell as much as possible, but let's not have a very easy seamless process when it comes to claims. Let's make that difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
True.
that aspect needs to change in the first place. Now, what how we look at it, that when it comes to insurance claims, customers want more simplicity and less waiting time, and the industry benchmark is generally 18 to 30 days for issuance of claims. In a lot of our products, which is parametric by nature, it's
Mhm.
actually real time. And in a lot of ways, we have curtailed claims we paid within 24 hours to 72 hours. And there's a lot of automation which we have used, like it's a fully integrated claim system, and it's of insurance products are embedded into other platforms. Then we have AI and natural language processing, where we call NLP,
Mm.
can be integrated and used for fraud minimization, making it easier for insurer only to assist for a claim. Because then, again, on the going back to the regulations, in certain jurisdiction, we cannot take the claim deficient because we are not licensed insurer. So what we do is we do the whole claim adjudication, send it to the insurer, who then just do a rubber stamping of approval with some SLAs which we have agreed with the insurer. So we pretty much do everything under the claims. So to make the claim simple, end-to-end automated, and seamless for the customers to experience with the real-time payment to their wallet or credit card or to their preference bank account.
True. I think experience is what it matters. Just to give an example, 5 years back, I was part of a blockchain summit in Bangalore. So primarily talking about the emergence of non-life and blockchain, how it can define the industry. So after during the networking session, there was a senior colleague from a different industry came to me and asked about, okay, so you're in the insurance field. So I was like, yes. So they were like, okay, great. So you guys typically make money by denying claims. I was little, taken aback. I was like, no, we are perceived wrong. But again, they're not going to believe us. They're going to believe on what the experience of the policy they buy, what the claims they get. So, such technologies, I hope, will change such perceptions.
Yeah, it's definitely that will, and that again, as I said, right, it comes from that mindset that
Correct.
we need to create products which customers need to experience. Um, I'll give you one good example of that, and the product which I'm personally, me and the team are very proud of is the Ride Advantage product which we launched with Ola in international markets. Okay, so if you look at ride hailing, Southeast Asia, for example, Grab also has a product
Yeah, yeah.
which covers against death and disability. Now, in how many occurrence you will have a death and disability in a cab ride? The occurrence is very low,
Mhm.
but they charge a premium for every ride for that. Okay,
Oh,
we came up with a product which is actually very unique. We came up with a product where if the cab is delayed, you get a $10 voucher. If the cab is delayed by 15 minutes, you get a $10 voucher. If you take your cab on time, but because of a traffic condition, you reach the airport late and you miss the flight, we actually pay for the flight. If you lose your personal belongings in the cab, which happens quite often, then we pay for the personal belonging. If you manage to retrieve the personal belongings as well from the cab ride hailing company, still we pay you an inconvenience fee for that inconvenience you have just suffered in that. So we came up with a package product, various of these attributes to make sure that people actually experience the claim. In the same ride hailing, in the same product which Grab has, which only covers death and disability, we package all these products where a customer can have the utility out of the product. Otherwise, there
right.
is no having those insurance coverages protecting your that primary service or a purchase.
Mhm. True, true. Just for the interest of time, in around 3 to 4 minutes, I would, just request you that Cover Genius. Of course, it's a name in itself when we say embedded insurance, and you have mentioned an example from the travel industry, that's Skyscanner. So, if I may request you if to tell our audience a bit more on this industry, on how you're trying to revamp this, like for example, in the rental car business or in the aviation side, like Iceland Air, Hooper, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you because of the time, I want to highlight one more example of that the
Yeah,
work we are doing on the
sure.
fintech space. But let me just cover your travel piece very quickly. So one of the differentiations which we are creating, if you look at any OT or travel today, you
Mhm.
will have in the same journey and a particular page you will have add insurance, and you will have a pricing which is not dynamic, which is very static, and you if you and it's a comprehensive insurance policy, either you buy or you don't buy, you go to
Right,
the next page. Okay, we came up with the solution design, which we give a lot of focus on. We came up with a better solution design where the attachment rates are higher in the during pandemic and post pandemic. Our attachment rates for insurance has in travel has gone up more than 6 times, because people who are traveling are buying insurance. And what we have also seen is we came up with very innovative products like cancellation for medical reasons,
right.
cancellation for any reason, parametric flight delay product, which is also embedded in the same consumer journey. So
Mhm.
now you are booking any tickets and you buy a cancellation for any reason, which is kind of your fixed pricing and flexible pricing. Then in future, for whatsoever reasons you are unable to take a flight, or if even though there is a change of mind, we actually take on the risk for that. So
Right,
we came up with products which was a need of the hour in the COVID situation as well, because there was so much uncertainty in the world that
right.
you need to come up with again products which people really need, and that's what we did in the travel space. um, in the fintech space, one of the things we are as a company very excited about is we did a global embedded insurance report with banks and neobanks and fintechs, and
Mhm.
which showed a data that 45% of US customers are highly interested in bank embedded insurance by leveraging their own transactional data. Okay, so rather
Interesting.
than if you look at bank assurance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Again, you go to any bank, you have a tab, you will have all insurance laundry list, right? Or a
Right.
bank RM is selling, cross selling, upselling to you. But people are, in our survey shows that people are interested into getting bespoke, hyper relative, customized insurance by leveraging their transactional data. But it's just 45% in US. The numbers in Asia are staggeringly high. So in India, the number is 95%. In Indonesia, it's 76. In Singapore, is 75. So that percent of people are
Right.
looking for customized embedded protection, whether it's for their gadgets or whether it is for travel or their life or a health, where we can leverage transactional data using the wallets, payment gateways, and everything, and then coming up with tailor-made products which are suitable for them or
Mhm.
the cohort, rather than having a blanket policy and product for everyone.
Right. Right. So, do you think this sort of an engagement it works kind of in a distributor model, or it's more of an strategic alliance kind of a thing?
No, it is again, we are working with various different payment gateways, wallets, neobanks
Okay.
in
Okay.
India and outside. Like our recent partnership is with Zip Pay. So Zip is one
Right.
of the leading payment wallets in Asia. And if you're using Zip to make
Mhm.
any payment for any sort of a electronic or a travel, we came up with something concept called a protection wallet. Our AI can throw information that what items you have bought is insurable, and then in the same checkout page, you get an option to buy protection against that item.
Wow.
Right. So that kind of a customization is what we are talking about. Rather than you buy the item from one place, then you find an insurer at a third party website to start to try to buy protection against it. You have to feed all data of IMEI, everything to that website. That you don't have to do. It's all embedded in the same consumer journey because we are getting the data from the primary
Yeah.
purchase.
Yeah. So I think that's the experience we as a consumer are looking at. Less steps to reach the ultimate objective. The multi-step process must reduce, and certainly the real-time aspect that comes in. Fantastic discussion. Thank you so much, Arijit, for your thoughts, your the ideas, and the growth story for Cover Genius that you have described, particularly for our audiences. Thank
Yeah,
you very much
thank you
for
for
your
having
time.
me, and yeah, thank you for the opportunity to sharing this. Look forward to speaking to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. And it was a true delight to have you as a guest. And lastly, to wrap this up, thank you for listening and see you at our next episode. Take care and stay safe. Goodbye for now.